I am going to be sharing my review of Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson in this video. So stick around so you can learn if this is a book you want to dive into. Hey everybody, Allie Martin, visibility expert here, and I have a group coaching program called the VIP Accelerator. In that, every single month we get a book and I send out the books to everyone in the group and we read them together along with our weekly coaching sessions. And we will briefly discuss the book and the reading that we had done that week on that week's call. And so last month's book was Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. And I'm a big fan of Russell's. And so I was really excited for us to dive into this book as a group. And it was overwhelming that it was a fantastic book, particularly for those that had been in business for a little bit, but maybe hadn't quite found their groove in bringing in those leads. I mean, I think really essentially that's what it comes down to. Whenever you're thinking about traffic secrets, we're of course looking for those sources to find us and the different ways Russell talks about that in the book. But really what it comes down to is how you can bring those consistent leads in so that you're never looking around and saying, okay, I'm ready for people to contact me. The tactics taught in this book really allow you to have that constant flow and the things that you should be doing every day, every week, every month to keep that flow going. So I've tagged 3 different pages that I want to identify in this video for you all, just to share, kind of giving you a sneak peek at what this book's look like. But really, I want to just reiterate that this is a fantastic book if you are new to business, if you feel like you're just kind of starting out. I do have a few ladies in my program that are very, very fresh and they're just getting started with their business, and it was a little too much for them. They definitely said, I'm taking notes, I'm flagging all the pages I need to go back to, but they weren't quite there in their business. So I think this is a really good step for people that have already gotten their business started. They've already established some presence, and then it really allows you to fine tune that presence and really optimize your time so that it is working for you in your business. So the first page that I want to share is in a chapter called Where Are They Hiding? The Dream 100. And what I really love about how Russell breaks this down is it's essentially your dream 100 customers and identifying them, getting into their world, inundating yourself with their media, their emails, and finding out who they are, what they need, so that you can serve them the very best possible. And that is a message that goes throughout this book and is truly an important marketing tool that any business owner should be employing. But the spot that I've highlighted on page 31 says, find the barrel of fish with your dream customers. Throw in your hooks. If your hook is good, it will pull people from that barrel into your funnels. And honestly, that just sums up so much for me. He teaches how to get in front of those Dream 100 and really how you can identify those. So that's really no problem. But then when it comes down to if you have a good hook and you get in front of those people, you'll hook them. You'll hook some of them and bring them over into your barrel. So that's a really cool way to think about why we need to be doing these things, why it's important, and why you should be spending your time on it. I've also identified on page 140, this is in chapter Fill Your Funnel Organically, Working Your Way In. And I have highlighted a couple of sections. So Russell writes, as of today, you are no longer a consumer of social media. You are a producer of social media. And then a little bit further down, he says, use social media as a business tool, not a social tool. Look for the largest parties in town. This is such a wake-up call for so many business owners out there. The number of times I hear from business owners saying, I just am so frustrated with social media. I spend hours and hours on there and don't feel like I'm getting any movement. And that's a big problem. We don't have hours and hours and hours of our day to be spending on social media. So every moment and every minute we're spending on something in our business, it should be giving us an ROI. And so I definitely hear those frustrations often and want to help as much as possible. And so with that, I always recommend, dialing it down as far as you consuming that media and getting on only to do your 15 minutes of engagement every day, or if you're posting. But I recommend using a scheduler so that you're not even tempted to get on to make those posts. They do them for you, and you aren't having to get on there and say, oh, I'm just getting on here to post, and then an hour later go, wait, why did I get on here in the first place? That happens. It happens to me. Trust me, I know. But really thinking about it in a way of, this is a business tool. I'm getting on here to do a business activity. I will not get sucked in to the drama. And Russell even suggests, and I completely agree with this, unfollowing anybody that doesn't align with that. So while I keep my Facebook pretty much open and connected to personal connections, but my Instagram, my TikTok, those are all focused very strictly on business relationships and individuals that I want to align myself with. So that way, when I'm getting on those apps, I'm not going down rabbit holes, if that makes sense. So the third section that I want to share with you in this video is on page 186, and this is in a chapter called Facebook Traffic Secrets. And I highlighted two areas. So the first one is, the goal of Facebook is to have its users create content that will keep people on their platform for as long as possible so that they can show them ads. Our strategy is to figure out what content Facebook is rewarding people for right now and how Facebook wants that content to be promoted, both free and paid. And before I share the second section, I just want to reiterate that anytime I'm giving a presentation on social media, I always reiterate that that is actually the goal of these social media platforms. So if we know the goal, we can kind of work backwards and be able to be more successful on those platforms than if we're just posting whatever and then going, why did that only get 2 likes? Or why did no one see this? If we are able to really think about it from the perspective of keeping those users on the platform, then we know Facebook will look at that and go, oh, we like this, thank you, and put it in front of more people. So I just always reiterate that in any presentation that I give. And so I'm really glad that Russell shared that in this book, because it truly does get down to the reasoning why so many things either flop or succeed. And if we can have that in the back of our mind, anytime we're creating content, it will, in my experience, it has rewarded. The second section I highlighted was identify your Dream 100 that have already mastered this platform and congregated your dream customers. If you haven't yet, be sure to clean up your Facebook feed by unfollowing everything that isn't tied to your Dream 100 and your dream customers. I mean, he can't say it any better than that. Like, that is truly, if we are wanting to be laser focused on our business, we want to stop wasting time on social media, these are the things we have to do. And they're not difficult, but it's just mostly the things that people don't want to do. They go, oh, well, I'll leave it because I don't want to unfollow these people. And you actually don't have to unfollow anybody. You can unfollow them without unfriending them, both on Facebook and Instagram. But people just don't want to do that. And so that can actually be a challenge. But then that's where you find yourself 3 hours later going, I'm sorry, why did I get on this app in the first place? And you get frustrated with yourself, and then you get frustrated with social media and you give up. So if you are early on in your business and you feel like, and maybe even later on in business, but you're ready to really take traffic seriously and wanting to dive into the things that work and the things that will move the needle in your business. Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson is a great book for you to read. I will say it is an easy read. The chapters, there's about 20 chapters in it, and before you know it, you're done with one and you're on to the next. So he gives a very tangible takeaways that you can actually write on your to-do list and do the very next day. But along with that, he gives real life examples. The book is not that old, but even if it does get years down the road, these tips and suggestions will be evergreen, and they will be valuable even for years to come with any changes that the algorithm or the platforms make. So I hope this video was helpful for you. I recap my book that we go through, the VIP Accelerator, every single month. So if you want to hear more book reviews, make sure you're subscribing so that you can get those book reviews. And let me know if you've read this book, what was your biggest takeaway? And if you are planning to read this book, what sold you on the idea of reading this book? So thanks so much. Until next time, bye.